Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel podcast. We are here at Anarchy Brew as per usual.
Yeah.
Well, apart from last week, because I was on holiday.
And 2 weeks ago.
And 2 weeks ago. But now we're going to make it a thing. We are going to go for a nice little running streak, hopefully.
And 4 weeks ago.
And yeah, momentum now, though. We're like Newcastle, turn the corner. So consistency is key. Apologies if there is any slight audio issues throughout this, because we are still in development stage here in the tap room at Anarchy Brewery. So they're making some brilliant changes. A new bar is being put over there.
If you could see behind the camera, taking shit.
Check out the Instagram. We'll do a look behind the scenes afterwards in our story. But we'll show you that. But they're mixing things up, and they're freshening things up, and it's looking very, very good. And there's also a little exclusive. Tell you exactly what it is yet, but a new can design and another kit on the war beer, and it's a little bit sexy, isn't it, Keg?
I don't know if we were meant to say that.
I'm going to say it anyway.
We walked into it, maybe it was a little bit of an exclusive there. I don't know if we were really meant to say
That's what we're here for, isn't it?
It is. Like,
what we're here
for. Exclusives.
If you want to grab them, scan the QR code in the top corner of your screen, or head to the website in that ticker below, which is blue, and I don't know why. Should be yellow, but there we go. Who knows? Everything's new for no apparent reason. Anyways, let us know how you are doing in the chat. Everyone good after a great weekend, beating Arsenal. Going to pour these
what are you drinking
right now. Arsenal tears still, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
It's still sipping on our Tetas tears and Robbie's and Lee Judges and everyone else from Arsenal Fan TV. But it's actually
a question. Are Arteta's tears the sweetest you can drink?
Oh, the best.
They are the best, I think.
I would have preferred Fergie's in the 90s, but Arteta's is a very close second now.
But it's great because he just loves a whinge. He makes it easy. When we beat him and he whinges, it's like, no, you just keep filling up my glass there, will you? You keep filling up them tears, will you?
Dead easy. I'm on the Vision Quest, which is a new one, which is a personal favourite of mine.
Just a brand new one, yeah.
But we'll get into those.
Got them nicely in a shot there, like.
Well, mine are. I'll put them nicely.
Yeah, mine would.
Come on, Right then, people. Good to see you all as usual. Please do smash like and subscribe if you haven't already, and shout out our audio listeners. Remember, you can download the podcast on all podcast platforms. Let's dive into it, Keg. Egghouse Black and White Army are back. Woo! We are back, right? What a week that was. Two massive
I don't know
weeks.
Much a week can change things, yeah.
It is, because, to be fair, the last few weeks, when we actually did turn up for the podcast, that had been quite, negative. There had been nothing much to shout about. So now it's nice to actually have a good drink to it, a good cheers.
Yeah.
To hopefully
I need to wet me with
season turning week. You know what I mean? Hopefully it is. Got to be.
Oh, lovely.
That actually is 10 out of 10. I'm not even just saying it. That's superb.
But you are right, though, because even if you cast your mind back at the beginning of the season, first 5-6 games, we went unbeaten. A lot of weren't a couple of points off the top.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, Newcastle's having a really good season. For those that them armchair fans that watch the fucking highlights on Sky Sports and
YouTube.
I just say the tweets and stuff. But we were playing like shit. As fans were you can ride bad performances for so long if you're picking up points and you're scraping wins by saying, well, it could be worse. And then it got worse. But we were still playing like shit. But then we weren't picking up points. And it's oh dear.
It has got worse.
This is not very good for me. And it had been like that for weeks. I don't even know how many weeks. We had a couple of injuries, but nothing major. I think Isaac was maybe the biggest problem, and obviously known fine well that we weren't going to have Callum Wilson, and Osula probably not being ready, playing Gordon up top, and just the whole shape just seemed to be out of sync. And it was I think the whole obviously behind the scenes thing played a big problem as well. But I feel like that's kind of getting sorted now, and with Gordon getting his new contract, I feel like behind the scenes things are moving into a positive direction now, whereas you could tell at the beginning of the season things just weren't right. I think Eddie Howe's body language and his press conferences and stuff, you just thought something's just off here. And I've struggled to put my finger on it, because I think there was multiple things. They've only got 10 fingers. I kind of put things on everything. I just think there was just so many problems, and I feel like now we're finally starting to iron them out a little bit. And there's behind the scenes things you can't really read into too much. It's all just speculation. But where you can read things is on the field. And on the field was a big problem. And now, only just the last 2 games, touch wood, that this continues. But when things are going well on the field, at least that's the main thing really that fans are really looking into. And as long as we continue to play well, then it's all kind of rosy days, isn't it?
Do you think it has obviously been a case of just waiting it out and like letting time pass from what was a turbulent summer? Stevie leaving, Gadusi leaving, Ashworth, Mitchell coming in, Howe not getting the players that he wanted, England apparently, interested in how now that that's all kind of been pushed under the carpet, moved on. It's
Howe not getting the England job.
it's like a bit of the shadow's gone now, hasn't it? The weight's been lifted off a bit and it's focus time again.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was just so much uncertainty over the summer, like with Howe in England and Gordon in Liverpool and like Staveley, Gadusi, Ashworth, with Mitchell maybe he's kind of rubbing people up the wrong way, and just a lot of things seemed off, and obviously like not knowing about Darren Eales' illness, and then obviously he's going to step down as soon as they find his successor. Just a lot of things. I think just the summer was a bit of a dark place at the club for a club that should have a lot of shining light. Like obviously the takeover's major for us. I know FFP and PSR and all that bullshit's like really restricted with, but there's been bigger things than just that at the club that's really been holding me back this summer. And that translated onto the field for the first few weeks of the season. But yeah, I feel like now, like, Howe didn't get the England job, we're kind of starting to like just move past that. Like performances are picking up. There's not as many injuries. Gordon signed his contract. So yeah, I feel like all of that cloud is just kind of starting to move away a little bit, and now we're finally just being able to like be ourselves. You can tell the last couple of games we've played like Eddie Howe's football team that we know we can play like. So that's just a really good sign, and two good teams as well. Like it's not like we've beat whoever bottom of the league, whoever's at the bottom of the league. It's not
Wolves
like
in Southampton. Or
yeah, we haven't just scraped by fucking Wolves and Southampton. Like we've beat Chelsea and Arsenal. So yeah, it's happy days, man.
It is like it's been a big week. It's been hopefully a turning point. It has to be. It looks that way. We'll obviously touch on Forest this weekend as the next game before another international break.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, talk about that, or the lack of it, towards the end of the show. But focusing on the last few days, does it show that fans, more so probably media outlets, are too quick and too rash to bite into things going wrong when things are going right? Because, a lot of people were doom and gloom or saying, I question Eddie Howe, question everything. Questioning literally every single thing from the Saudis. Are they still interested? Eddie Howe, is he still good enough? Why is Isaac not playing well? Is Gordon on his head turned, even though he's saying the contract? And we're missing this, we're missing that. He's getting that wrong. He's getting this wrong. And then in the space of a few days, everything's like, actually, we're kind of good again. Eddie Howe is a good manager, and we are a decent football team.
Oh, I remember that Eddie Howe was a good manager.
I like the bit on TNT that was played. I didn't actually watch it because I was at the game, but I seen the clip on Twitter of Lindsay Hipgrave and Eddie Howe going through his timeline, basically, of events since taking over as Newcastle manager. She had like photos on a net on the training ground. I don't know if you've seen it. And that was just another refresh of like, wow, what a job he's done. Coming in, like, keeping him up, the Leicester win, and then the Champions League nights, the Brighton game, qualifying for Champions League, the Carabao Cup journey, beating Sunderland in the FA Cup. There's been so many unbelievable moments that we're probably too quick to judge and too quick to forget, innit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, people forget. And I do blame the fans. Like you say, like it can be media as well. Absolutely, media love to just stir the shit and they never ever give Newcastle the rub of the green. But I say a lot of like media are often kind of like blind and just kind of think about the past, and like that's kind of how they reflect it. Like beginning of the season, we're picking up points. So everyone's like, "Hey, Newcastle's doing really, really well," not realizing that we're actually performing like shit.
Playing grab.
But I think the fans are the quickest to judge, because as soon as anything goes wrong, like fans are just like straight on. It's like bang, like suck Eddie Howe, get him out. He's done. He's finished. Like have a day off, man. Like it was like that last season. And I got towards like the back end of 2023. We were performing poorly and we weren't picking up points, but you understood why. It was the injuries, Tonali suspension, the whole squad was just depleted. Like we had to throw 17-year-old Lewis Miley in to make his debut and then keep him there for the next 20 games, playing 90-minute games 3 times a week, Champions League against fucking PSG and stuff. Like what do you want me to do? Like Sean Longstaff played with 2 broken feet for the back end of the season. I don't know what you want me to do. Like we're just in a bit of a bad shape at the minute, and everyone's like, Eddie Howe's finished, sack him. Like, get it over, man. And then as soon as we started getting people back, funnily enough, we started picking up wins again. And then, like I say, like this season, I think behind the scenes and all the kind of whispers and disruption and stuff has been a problem. But you just need to write it out. Just give it time. And like, if it doesn't figure itself out within, well, I'd say by the end of the season, what's that, 6 months away? More than that?
Yeah.
Like, give it time, man. We lost a couple of games. Jesus Christ. Like, think it's so lucky we haven't got Steve Bruce back or just Steve McLaren or something. Like, we're long past them days. Just have a bit of patience. We're allowed to lose games.
Everyone loses games.
We might be.
Man City lost against Bournemouth. We got a point there. So
we might technically be the richest team in the world, but like, you know, we had a couple of bad transfer windows.
Crap transfer windows.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we're gonna lose games. Like, it's okay to lose games. It's just how you get through it. And like, we've gotten through it. Just relax, it's all right.
Because Ian's in the chat as always. Hope you're well, Ian. He's saying nothing wrong with constructive criticism, which there definitely isn't, as long as it's not personal. We expect to be. Yeah, that's the definitely is. We expect to be doing better than 12th at the time. Let's be fair. For me, the first part's very true. And I'll give constructive criticism. Listen, I was hammering them after Chelsea lost in the league. I was hammering them a couple of times this season, you know, which hasn't been good enough. But the point there at the end about expect to be doing better than 12th, I just think that's a bit harsh because we were only in October at the time when we were 12th.
Exactly.
Now we're 8th again, 3 points off Arsenal.
Yeah. Like, yes, we do expect better than 12th.
If it was April and we're 12th, I'd be like, something might need to change.
Yeah. Like if we're at the back end of the season, like even now, because we are Newcastle and we'll carry a lot of expectancy.
Yeah.
Even October, 12th isn't good enough, but just relax, just wait and see like how it pans out. Like I say, like wait until April or something, and then stop. Like blaze away. Fair enough. If we're 12th in April, can crack us.
Aye.
But yeah, like it's just it's still early doors.
Protests. Disgrace. How out?
Yeah, it's all right, man. Yeah, I think people just get on the high horses a little bit and just never give things time. I think that's just the world we're living in sport in general. Like no one gets time anymore.
Social media has just made everyone it really. But listen, everyone's entitled to opinion. Fair enough. Ian, let us know what you think going forward. Is how changed your mind this week, or who would you bring in, or what do you want to see happen? But I think the big change in that Eddie Howe has made, and this was right, people like Ian and myself were criticising, was the midfield and the selections, and obviously he's getting a lot of stick for the sound of Tonali substitution on the hour every time. And in the Chelsea game, the first one, you've seen that midfield have problems, and then the second game in the Cup at St James's brings in Joe Willock, brings in Longstaff, Joe Linton on the left. There we go. Problem solved. Yeah. And Tonali obviously was unbelievable in the middle against Chelsea in the Cup. He gets dropped for Arsenal, few eyebrows raised, but then the balance is so good there, man, isn't it? Like that Willock and Joe Linton on the left, which has got us Champions League, is the way forward.
Oh, yeah.
And Gordon on the right, when people say he can't play there.
Oh, God.
That first time cross.
Yeah.
Just shut everyone up on that one.
Yeah. And it's a credit to squad depth, particularly in the middle, like the rotation that we can have. Like, you don't need to play the same three midfielders week in, week out, because then that becomes a little bit predictable. And and I've always thought that Longstaff goes underrated because he's not like a sexy player. He doesn't do nothing particularly well, but he always helps just chug the team along. He plays the way Eddie Howe wants him to play. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like, yes, he's not everybody's favourite player. He's not the first name on the team sheet. But when he comes in, it's not like, we're going to show Longstaff starting again. We're going to lose this, but Longstaff starting. Like, he keeps the team playing well. He doesn't like let we're down week in, week out, by any means. But yeah, of course you want Tonali in. He is the big, sexy, big money Italian international. Like, he's what you want with Bruno, Joe Linton. There were big money, big name signings. So, of course you want them three in. But when you change things up, I don't think there's anyone necessarily in the squad, maybe it's with the four of the goalkeepers, where I would think, like, if anyone started, maybe Almiron, give or take. There's no one that would start where I'll be like, fuck, can't believe they're playing. Might lose this game because they're playing. Like, that's like, I remember everyone used to scapegoat like Joe Linton in the Brucey days and Emil Kraft and stuff. Like, there was always someone where someone started and it was like, man, can't believe they're playing. Why are you playing them? They're shite. Yeah. But, there's not really anyone in that squad now for me. So yeah, we can change some things, go back to like Joe Linton on the left, like we did a couple of seasons ago, like before Gordon came in. There's plenty of things that we can do, and I think Eddie Howe is starting to realise that you can rotate the squad a little bit and still keep that balance.
Mm-hmm. I think we've done it perfectly, really, with Longstaff there. I've criticised Longstaff enough times, and I liked his interview after the game, to be fair, saying, some people think I should be in the team, some people think I'm hopeless and can't pass the ball to you. It doesn't really bother me, and I'll just get on with it, and that's probably the best part about him. Do you know what I mean? He gets on with it, does the no-nonsense stuff. And what I like about Longstaff now, what we've seen in recent games, is that being around players like Bruno, Joe Linton and Tonali, make him look better, but he also makes them look better.
Yeah.
Because he'll free up the space. He does the
He
dirty
does
stuff.
the dirty shit to make them look like sexy.
They'll look better. I think you know what it is when they're in the tunnel and that they'll be buzzing. Bruno and Joe Linton, that'll be buzzing that Longstaff's there now. Because they'll think, right, and now for a fact he's going to put 100% in the day. He's going to bail me out a couple of times. He's going to let me go forward and I can have a bit more freedom. And that works a treat, to be fair. But the key for me is Joe Linton on the left wing. Which is mad because the best part of our game seems to be left wing. Barnes at the start of the season.
You got
Gordon's
Gordon.
screamers. Yeah. Gordon was having the time of his life last year, getting the England team on the left. You know, and then you've got Joe Linton there who can come in and play. But Joe Linton, the way he just helps out the fullback, the energy he brings, what he has offensively and defensively is just so pivotal, man. And
it is.
Willock is the frustrating one for me because I just know he won't be able to stay fit, and because when you see him and he has that energy, that's him driving with the ball.
Underrated, he's so underrated because people think that he's just injury prone, so you forget how good he is when he actually gets to run a game.
You forget he's such a talented player, you know. That's why he was at that's why he was at Arsenal for so long. And that's why he cost us 25 million. That's one of the only big signings he actually made. Remember, you know, Joe Willock after that ridiculous loan spell. So if they could stay fit, but then I suppose the positive is having that depth, having Tonali there if Willock was to get injured, or Louis Miley coming back, you know. So listen, I think going forward we should be optimistic on this one, and like we say, have a bit of patience and just see how things play out a bit before we start going a bit mental and overboard. Because in that build-up, I remember being on my phone on holiday last week and seeing accounts online saying, "Oh, if Howe loses Chelsea and Arsenal, he's got to go." And I was like, "Really, man? Like seriously? No, like we're just forgetting everything from the past.
Have to go.
We're just forgetting everything. Like people saying, "Oh, bring in the Dortmund manager that was he's free now. You know, the one that got in the Champions League, and look at Mourinho in the Europa. You know, brilliant box office and all that." It's like, I just think it's daft.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think just hold on until it gets. You don't want to wait until it gets too bad. Like you don't want it to be like Steve McLaren, where he should have been sacked months ago, and like Mike Ashley just decided to act like when we're already buried. Like, yes, you don't want to wait until it gets too bad, but it's not that bad.
No,
just relax, man. Sorry,
just relax.
Yeah,
because
like, we're getting there. We're going through a transition, like we're like all the behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, big transition. You know, they're working out their relationships, Mitchell, and listen, January will be the big decider for me, like we're doing strength on that right hand side and how we deal with the cups and that, which we'll get on to in a minute. What we've got in the chat here, seen a good one before I was going to highlight. Chipper's there. It's okay beating Chelsea and Arsenal, but Sunday is the game where we need to back it up, which I want to talk about because I'm always optimistic. You know, I've called it 1-0 Isaac. I said we wouldn't get beat off Man City when I was on TalkSport.
Yeah.
But then there's games where you have these teams like Brighton having a really good season, to be fair, but then beating us at home. You know, there's games we've had where we're pulling out last minute equalisers or winners, like Wolves away and the Brighton at home and stuff. When you get results against big teams, you know, going for the title, but then you struggle against that's the frustration in it. It's consistency. That's what we'll have to find. That's why I'm saying hopefully we have turned that corner this week, where we can get into a run of things and get a bit more momentum.
Momentum.
That's what we need.
Yeah. And like I'm saying, like, we're kind of over the bad streak and like we've turned the corner, we've beat Arsenal and Chelsea, so now everything's rosy. I'll back up what I was saying about everyone just being patient when things are shit. Like, still be patient now. Like, it's not like, we're going to win the league. Like, it hasn't turned that much of a corner. Like, yeah, we need to like just keep the momentum going. Like, that was the problem. We needed to find the momentum. We needed a couple of good performances as much as anything. Because, like I said before, at the beginning of the season, we're getting the results, but the performances weren't there, and that was a big problem. Now, finally, for the first 2 games of this season, not only have we played well, won the game, but there've been good competition as well, like Chelsea and Arsenal, like very good teams. We've played them off the park and we've won the game. First time this season where that's happened in consecutive games, and like I said, 2 good oppositions. So again, Forest are no walkover. What are they, like 3rd, 4th in the league at the minute?
I will get on there at the end of the show. It's not going to be easy.
It's not an easy game. Like it's not Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Liverpool or whatever, but can't argue where they are in the league. Like, got to take them seriously. You can't just be like, that's I'm not in Forest.
No, definitely not. Definitely not with the form they're in. And Chris Wood turning into bloody Rivaldo.
You need to beat everyone in and around you, like Forest in third, like all those mid-table, like and beat like the ones at the bottom of the league as well. So yeah, like every game is important in the Premier League. It doesn't really matter who it is. Like we always used to have a habit, even back when we were shite, of doing well and being a bit of a bogey team for good teams, and then losing to like your bloody relegation rivals. Like, Newcastle were great at doing that.
Even did that. Remember, Richie penalties against Man U and Arsenal, and then Matty Longstaff against Man U, and then we get beat off bloody Leicester and West Brom. That sure. So,
we were always great at doing that.
Oh, I've always been there. But the best thing about the last 2 games from me, as we mentioned, is that it looks like Eddie Howe's Mags are back. The intensity has returned. The identity is there. And what Arsenal don't like, Arteta definitely doesn't like, which he said Newcastle are good at, forcing you into a state of play. They're good at what they do. He's obviously referring to, which a lot of the Arsenal fans did on EFTV with me afterwards, the dark arts. The dark arts are back. Halloween, bonfire night.
Yeah.
Happy bonfire night, everyone, by the way.
Bonfire night, yeah.
I
can hear them now. I don't hear them through the mic, but I can get fireworks going off above my head.
But listen, the dark arts are back. They had to come back.
Yeah.
They had to come back. And look at what happens when they do come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It made it so awful. No one wants to come up against that. No one wants to have Jordan's elbow in your face. Dan Burns swiping you away. Like, it's, you know what I mean? That's the dog.
Bruno celebrating throw-ins. Like he's fucking scored a 90th minute penalty.
The dog arts are well and truly back. And why not use them? Listen, Arsenal have actually tried to copy us recently. I thought that was very ironic, to be honest. And I said it assessed in my interview. They were cheating all the time, little gains. They were moving the ball up 5 yards. They were taking throw-ins a little bit closer. They were at the ref. There was everybody is doing that. So don't try and tell me it's just Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall who are doing that.
It's just more
it's
just like trying to get into people's heads. It's just trying to like rattle you, like shake it, and it's all like psychology. Like we're not doing anything illegal. No. We're not like trying to like dock points or nothing like that. Like we're not like handball things. Taking performance enhancing. Oh yeah, Julian
looks like he is.
Yeah, like it's just legal advantages, just something to like sway you into like playing better, rattle the other team. Like everyone does that. Like Shearer on his elbows, like sticking an elbow in the fucking snooter, right? Like
Vieira.
Everyone does it. Like just trying to like rattle people. Like Roy Keane, get in early, let them know you're there, and then they'll back off. Like
Martin Keown,
Ibrahimovic would do.
Also, fans can complain with Martin Keown and Tony Adams. And everything was headbutting people. And that.
It's an old dark art. Like everyone does it. Like just Eddie Howe's shithouse Mags just know how to probably get under people's skin. Arteta's more than anyone's. Like, he hates it.
That's the
like, and hating like slagging off the style of play. Like, what style of play is mint?
He's jealous, mate. Yeah. He absolutely hates you.
Just because you're rattled. Like, that's the point. We're trying to rattle you.
It's working.
And you're proving you're rattled. Like, you're making yourself look like a dick. Like, just be the bigger man and just try and beat me next time.
It can't be. That's why everyone gets it. He's so petty, isn't he? Cry Teta. Cry Teta. At it again. He cannot handle the tune. Can't handle it. He hates it. Well said, Aaron, as well. Pope pretending to be injured. Shithouse FC. That was hilarious. Just going down, you just know it. And then Eddie calls over like 3 players, a few bottles of Lucasade. Oh, it's fantastic, man.
I wonder how he gets that message across, or is it like planned in training?
Tyndall gives it a little
gives a little signal. Like pretend he's putting out pointers, but he's really doing like some like signal saying.
You'll have some little code for the Pope instruction to hit the deck. Little brush the shoulder. Post there. I can't do new. YMCA. Post there and he's retro tracksuit jumping all over the place. Let's lastly talk about the performance on the weekend with giving credit towards our young English fullbacks. Lewis Hall, who absolutely pocketed Bukayo Saka, which credit to Hall in his post-match interview also gave a credit to Joe Linton, Joe Willock and everybody coming back there and helping him out. But him on the left and then Tino Livramento on the right, shutting down Arsenal time and time again. Martinelli missing all of them, couldn't get a hold of it.
Did Martinelli play?
Oh, I
did he?
You wouldn't have thought so.
Didn't see him.
No, no one's seen him. But Tino, Hall, England's future fullbacks. I mean, not even future.
Should be
next week.
Yeah.
Tino's been getting in the squad, to be fair, and hasn't been getting off the bench. But
Lewis Hall's been in the under 21, so he's on the cuff, isn't he?
Lewis.
In terms of left back,
last time,
like we've got some depth at right back, depending on how you use it. James, Alexander-Arnold, Walker, Trippier's retired, isn't he? But like left back, what we're going to do? Play a 32-year-old been injured for the past 14 years, Luke Shaw.
Well, Southgate would have, so thank God he's not there anymore.
And Ben Chilwell. Like, who did we have last time? We had Terry Mitchell.
He was playing there when he last. Rico Lewis has been playing there a bit.
Oh, Rico Lewis is alright, to be fair. But I'd rather Rico Lewis and like Lewis Hall's next. He's next one up. If he gets into the team, but like Tino, the last couple of games doesn't play, it's fine, just as long as he's like in there proving himself. And this is what Tuchel needs to be looking at. So, like,
definitely,
whether he's in the next team, Willie Cosley or not, whatever. He's still only 19 years old. Preferably, I'd rather he didn't, to be honest. But yeah, if in going forward, Thomas Tuchel needs to be looking around like, hey, right, who's the next kids up? Well, like, let me have a look. How old's this kid? Let's see what he's doing on the field. And look, Lewis Hall's been just immense. I think since he came in regularly at the end of last season, like, he doesn't really put a foot wrong for me. He's young. He's got a lot to learn. He's still a little bit raw. But tell you what, man, like, if that's him raw, Jesus Christ, when he hits his potential,
scary.
Roberto Carlos. Like, honestly, his potential. Is he 19 still? Or is
19 now?
Yeah, 19. Just turned 19. He had a birthday not long ago. Yeah, mate.
Unreal, man.
Absolutely insane. Like, I think his price tag was a little bit questionable when he was brought in. Probably Tino's as well. They were both quite expensive for very young kids.
Especially Hall, because he hadn't been proven that much. He'd played like 12 games or something for Chelsea's first team. Tino had played a lot.
Tino's reputation was 2 years ago, though, because he came back off an ACL.
Yeah.
He hadn't played it in a year before he signed for us. So he was a bit of a risk.
Injury.
That was a bit of a risky signing, that.
Very risky.
Yeah.
Very risky.
But I'll tell you what, mate, they were just both chef's kiss. I seen the stat at halftime. I think TNT Football put it on Twitter, Tino's stats. They put 3 stats on, and they were both all 100%. I can't remember exactly what they were. I think one was aerial duels. I think one was like 50-50 challenges. One was like tackles or something. I can't remember the exact stat, but 3 stats all 100% at halftime. It's amazing.
Ridiculous.
The pair of them, like, for so young. Like, we spent a lot of money on them, but that's the beauty. They're 2 good things that we've had since the takeover that we haven't been able to spend over the last couple of transfer windows. But tell you what, future sorted with them too. Hopefully for England as well, as you say.
Yeah, for the next decade, really.
Yeah, for us and the country. Right?
How, obviously, again, deserves credit for that, doesn't he? Because last year, people were calling for Hall to come in. And he didn't, because he knew defensively he had a lot of work to do.
When we didn't have anyone to bring on.
Which was mad, but it was because you can still see glimpses of that. You mentioned him being raw. You can still see at times a defensive lapse.
Yeah.
And that's because he's still learning that position. You know, he played a lot of left centre mid for Chelsea.
He played centre mid, didn't he?
And then he played left wing, and they were talking, he's an ex-Gareth Bale, bombing up and down the wing. And then, obviously, Howe sees him as that full-back, wing-back, left back. So the defensive work that has been in there, the time that it has took, it's paying off now. Big time. It's paying off now, big time.
And dividends.
Those 2 fullbacks, listen, we did spend, we've had 2 terrible transfer windows, which we talked about earlier, the previous windows, but in that one, spending what was a total of 75 million on the pair of them, 40 for Tino, 30 for Hall. So
I can't remember.
65, 70 million, 70, 75 million. For them 2 expensive fullbacks there, but they're going to turn out to be an absolute steal.
But it's like everything else, though. Like, I think a lot of price tags are being questioned. Like, I know I'll hold my hands up and say I wasn't 100% sure about the 45 million that was spent on Anthony Gordon. 40 million on Joe Linton. That looked like a massive flop after his first 3 years.
Yeah.
But they're both worth a ton more. Botman, Bruno, Isaac. They were all a lot of money, particularly for us at the time. But tell you what,
Isaac at 64 million. People were questioning because his goal record wasn't.
But not one of them are worth now what we paid for them. They're worth double, if not triple, what we paid for them.
Profits, Lord Sugar profits. Arsenal have had the ball out more than most in the league this season. The stats show it, so Arteta can shove it.
Oh yeah, I did see that stat.
See his chip has 1990. Exactly. See how you contradictive there, aren't you, Mikel? Contradictive. But those fullbacks really impressed me, and I'm going to keep a keen eye on Carsley's squad. But to be fair, it doesn't really matter this one, because obviously the new man, Thomas Tuchel, comes in January.
I think Carsley's squad, though, because he has been doing his own thing. He hasn't just like copied and pasted the Gareth Southgate regime, which a lot of managers do. Like Brucey tried that with Rafa Benitez. He tried to just copy and paste exactly what Rafa did, but fucked it up.
It worked for like the first 3 months, didn't it? And then all the players were like, "Oh, I forgot what was happening." Lost the notebook.
Yeah, no, Cosley's been refreshing because obviously with his under 21 links, like he's brought through a lot of youngsters and just ditched the old like the same stuff that Southgate was doing for the past 8 years. Right, so yeah, I liked Carsley, but yeah, like. Next squad's the next squad. He can do whatever he wants, but as long as Tuchel's keeping an eye out and does what he wants to do in January and hopefully does the same thing, keeping an eye on everyone.
Luke said earlier on, can't believe Conor McGregor was at the match. Well, Tuchel needs to be at the match. Yeah, McGregor was there. It's time for Tuchel to get to St. James Park and see the future fullbacks.
I hope he does, because not a lot of people do. Like, they always forget about Newcastle. Maybe it's a bit too far up from them when they're sitting in bloody London and getting just bloody West Hams and Brentfords and Arsenal and all that. Yeah, like obviously we have got some players there now. Like obviously we've had Trippier for the past few years. Wilson and Pope's been in some squads, but now we've got Tino and Hall. We've got Willock, maybe Sean Longstaff, Gordon's one of your key guys now.
How brilliant would it be if Causey, just for the crack, since it's his last squad, just called them fucking Danby along?
I was going to mention Danby, but I thought, he's like 31 now, hasn't been capped, so yeah.
But give him his cap, man.
One cap, that'll do. Away from Blythe.
Very good on the record book. Surely he's like the tallest player to ever represent England as well. Is he tall, or is he not?
About an inch, I think. I think he's about 6'6".
He's taller.
No, shorter, I think. I think. Don't quote us, but I think Burns 6'6", was Crouch 6'7".
He looks bigger, doesn't he? Because he's got build, but Crouchy, stick man.
Yeah.
I think Crouchy would have been taller, wouldn't he?
About an inch, I think, yeah.
See, Peter Crouch the other day was actually saying he regrets not joining Newcastle.
Did he?
He said in a podcast, if there was any club he could have joined, it would have been Newcastle.
I mean, he had his fair share. What he didn't
do. Every other Premier League team but us. But he says, like, imagine even in the dark times, he said if I was there number 9.
Loved Peter Crouch.
I used to say him on FIFA all the time, mate.
Yeah. Back in them days, and all,
totally
back in his peak days, what was that? Probably the late noughties.
Did I pull overhead kicks and that?
Yeah. Back then, like after Shearer, obviously, like around about the 5, 6, 7 years after Shearer, I'd have loved Peter Crouch.
Should have been all over it. You know, even I said it at the time, and all the Defoe when they went to the Macmans, we should have got him. Seen how good it was for them.
Yeah, I like Defoe.
When he left Tottenham, Darren Bent as well, who went to Sunderland, he was saying the other day that he regrets not joining Newcastle.
Because he lived here, didn't he, when he lived in
of course did he.
Remember he was on a podcast a couple of years ago and they were talking about nightlife and stuff, and he was talking about like when he like played for Sunderland, he was just mentioning all like the Newcastle nightclubs and stuff. He was like, you've never been to Sunderland. Apart from the stadium at in the training ground, you've never been to Sunderland.
Literally the 20 meters around there, like the little yardage around the ground. That's all he's done. But it's Darren Bent said he turned us down for somebody in 2013, I think it was.
He's another one who's had a fair share of clubs, bloody hell.
And he says he wish I'd chose Newcastle instead. And I thought a really good signing for us, to be fair. That would have been.
Could you, we're not going to do this now because we haven't got enough time, but could you list all of the clubs between Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe, and Darren Bent?
Nah.
Fucking hell.
We'll
be our hard night.
We'll be out next month, ain't the other proper journeymen.
Three of them, weren't they?
These journeymen right there, like, God. John says you were hilarious on the AFTV, Matty. Big up. Love the intensity in the last 2 games.
You fucking rinsed them.
It went viral on Twitter to like 500,000 on Twitter, with 100,000 on TikTok and all over our socials. And I had to give it to them.
Deserved it.
Hope moving forward we have the creativity to break teams down, says John. The guy's mate. Good comment, that. Good afternoon to Kevin from Florida. Stephen says, Matty, next year give Ty some stick. Ty was there in the background, to be fair, and he was surprisingly quiet for a change.
I was going to say, Ty would normally, he'd probably be in shot, like trying to give you it back, but yeah.
He was actually there, and he was
just
letting Judges and Julian talk. I think Ty was tired or something, because he just didn't say no.
He'd be the first one to bite back. But
and even in his own fan cam, I watched it, he only did a couple of minutes. I think he couldn't be arsed. He wanted to go home. Didn't blame him.
I don't blame him.
But he's losing that touch, he used to give it us. Big time, didn't he, Ty?
I mean, to be fair, the amount of times that we went down to the Emirates and haven't seen a result yet.
I said them.
It's a long journey not to get a result. How does it feel, boys?
When I came off the camera, and even though I have beaten them last couple of times, when I came off the camera, I think it's because this time I really went for it. Robbie was like, as if you're sticking it on us, like that, sticking on us on our channel like that.
Right, yeah.
And he was laughing like in good spirits, but I was saying like, mate, I've waited fucking 7 years to do this.
It's been in the locker for the past 7 years.
I've had this saved in my notes for 7 years.
It's like getting into prison.
It is. 50 Cent wrote the album. I was just ready to let it out.
When it rains, it pours.
It was unbelievable. And I see this didn't worry though. When January comes around, I have to come to the Emirates and see if we get.
Yeah. Well, I've got a good record with the Emirates.
You see that
Andy Carroll or something.
Aye, awful. I went there 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
And, the first time I seen a score was last year, Joe Willock, and that was the consolation 4-1. Okay, then let's move on from the. Well, let's quickly see if there's any more good comments on the Arsenal and Arteta stuff. Tino was 30 odd, Hull was 28, so pretty much 60 million plus a little bit more. So say 65 million on them two fullbacks. Bargains, man. Bargains. Can't wait till Sven is back. Will be solid.
Who?
Sven. Botman.
Oh,
Sven.
for some reason I thought he might be England manager.
No,
He's not coming back.
He's definitely not coming back.
No,
Rest in peace.
not him.
Good that show actually on Amazon. His documentary.
I haven't seen it, to be fair.
Good.
No.
I liked it. All-right, Sven-Goran Eriksson.
That's a good. But to me, I've completely forgot about that. That's why I went to Sven-Goran Eriksson. I forgot Sven. I know I mentioned him before, while he young, cheap deals that are now worth more. But yeah, I've just kind of completely forgot about him actually being in the team.
Well, he's not going to be back until about Christmas, is he? But when he does come back, I mean, at the minute, my God, Tino right back, Hall left back, Botman there. And then I would say Shaw, but obviously Shaw's been a bit off it for me the last couple of games. But
I will give a bit of shout out to Lloyd Kelly for Wednesday night's performance. He was absolutely outstanding.
Very good. Very unfair, perhaps, or harsh on him to lose that place, but with
it made sense though. I didn't expect him to start.
Set pieces.
That was League Cup, a little bit of rotation, but for the league, I think you kind of stick to what you know, what's your best possible 11, and I expected Burn to start, but I agreed that it was harsh. Maybe it's Crafton now, to be fair.
Very harsh.
Crafton, an absolute blinder.
But again,
Tino.
How nice are you seen? Tino came in.
It was good rotation. That's what I mean.
That pace.
There's not anyone in the squad that I don't mind plays. If need to, if it's squad rotation, I don't mind. It's a little bit of rotation every now and then, because there's not a single player in the team that I don't trust.
No, you're right, And that back line now, I think of the days of really Bramall and Boomsong. Now you can just bring in Emil Crafton, He was just cost 75 pence and he's just missed. It's unbelievable.
Haribo mix-up,
Unbelievable. Fizzy blue bottle. Put him in the back. Sorted. Swedish masterclass.
Centre back, right back. Who gives a shit?
But, if we do go out and sign Gahey or hopefully another defender going off Gahey's form this season, did score on the weekend,
He did,
But he plays a lot on the left. So for me, it's that right-sided with Bottom on the left. We could be laughing when we get that sorted.
Absolutely.
But the defence is shaping up nicely. Aaron, imagine Crouchy and Carroll back in the prime 4-4-2 days.
Jesus.
Everybody.
Real.
Anyone would have
been a nightmare. I think ideally, because Crouch played with Defoe, we mentioned before, at Portsmouth, and Tottenham, maybe they've played together at both of them. I don't know.
Who's that?
Crouch and Defoe, Tottenham and Portsmouth.
And Portsmouth?
And Stoke. Did they?
Stoke,
Played 3 teams.
Oh, no, did Defoe play at Stoke? No, he didn't, did he?
No, Michael Owen did.
Crouch.
That
England special.
That kind of little and large combo, that always worked quite well.
Portsmouth, man, back
Has anyone really tried a large and large combo?
We need to.
I don't know. That'd be quite interesting though. That would be a nightmare for a centre back, because Andy Carroll was a bit of a shithouse now, and he liked to hide the elbows and stuff. It's playing with someone as physical as Carroll, but two tall aerial threats. That would have been an absolute nightmare.
Big Sam must have done a large and large combo at some point at one of his clubs, surely.
What
did he have?
One of them.
What did he have? Oh no, because he loved Kevin Davies. His name was quite small, wasn't he?
He was a number 10, behind Nolan.
He was good, him,
Kev Nolan.
It must have been a big combo somewhere.
He had Carroll and Nolan.
What about Carroll and Nolan?
Yeah.
What about Adebayor and thingy at Spurs? Adebayor and Crouch at Spurs, wasn't it? And Defoe now in the mix, and Darren Penn.
I cannot remember. Christ almighty, I can barely remember the starting 11 from Sunday.
We'll have to have a look at that, But I may start FIFA season, aren't large combos, new formation and large combos.
Download FIFA 08.
6'6" is up for it. It actually will be. I wouldn't mind that. Right then, that was a good waffle. That leads one to nice segue after mentioning Lloyd Kelly and Kraft, who were vital in our Carabao Cup win over Chelsea. Just a quick look towards the next round, Keg, the quarter-final. We actually got a decent draw for a change. Mental. Unbelievable. What's going on?
One of the best ones that we could have had, I think.
That and Southampton.
Out of the... was there one more that I would have taken? Palace, I think, maybe. Is out of...
They knocked out...
didn't they? Palace, Brentford...
Southampton.
I would have been quite happily with anyone. I think in the order of Southampton, Brentford, Palace. But who's still in? Liverpool,
Arsenal,
Spurs, Arsenal, or Man United? Yeah.
Man United play Spurs.
Yeah, so out of 8 teams, I mean,
That was
Chelsea
decent.
5. Yeah, like we got a really good draw.
Really good.
Yeah. So out of 7 teams that we could have had, 4 of them are pretty fucking hard that we didn't want. There was only 3 relatively decent teams, and we got one of them at home.
At home is the big.
The gods are talking now. We've had our jinxes. We've had our bloody Chelsea, City's, United's, Arsenal's, Liverpool's away in the cup. And now we had somehow managed to get Wimbledon at home, even though it was actually an away draw. Then we got Chelsea at home, and now we've actually got a relatively. I mean, it's a Premier League team. Like it's not an easy draw by any means, but that was definitely worse out there. So yeah, thankfully the gods have spoken. We avoided 4 tough teams, got a decent one. So yeah, happy days with that one.
You're right. It's a Premier League team, and I got carried away saying I was going to book my hotel and stuff, and I did have a cheeky look, to be fair. but we kind of sleep on Brentford because they are good. Good manager. Bruno, he's going to be wanting to score for a move, isn't he? Because the ties at like the 15th of December.
Like how Mitchell, look at all these goals I'm scoring.
Didn't use the Cecil line. He's at audition. Worked out well, didn't it? So I and Boomer will be. I'll be pointing at like the director's box, won't you? Like saying.
See that goal there?
70 mil.
On power.
200 grand a week, you've got that. January. But good players, good manager. But listen, the quarter final, first of all, at St. James's, massive advantage. And then obviously having Brentford and avoiding your Arsenal, your Liverpool, your Man United, your Tottenhams is massive, man. Like, what a draw that is for us. And then
really good.
We've got 2 legs of the
2 of them have got each other as
Man U
Spurs, yeah. So at least one of them will be knocked out for the next
one. Remember, it's Man U Spurs, Liverpool away at Southampton, and then it's Palace, Arsenal at the Emirates. Us, Brentford.
Yeah, an upset in that game would be nice.
It would be very nice.
Yeah.
And it might be because, they play a few of the youngins.
Yeah.
Listen,
so if Arsenal and one of Man United and Tottenham get knocked out, then
there you go.
Lovely day.
You might end up with a Palace or someone in the semis there. It's a shame, obviously, Ten Hag's left, because Man U might be obviously very different under the new manager. Although it is still the same crap players, and it'll take them time. But John's there saying give us Man U in the semi. And to be honest, in the semi, I'm much more confident because there's 2 legs.
Yeah.
If you get the first one away, keep it tight. Even if you get beat 1-0.
Yeah, at home, absolutely.
Even if you got beat 1-0. If we drew Man U, got beat 1-0 at Old Trafford, you had the second leg at St. James's, beat them 2.
Fancy at home,
beat them 2-0, 3-1, whatever.
Even if we've got to take it extra time at pens or something, I think we can do Man United.
That's something to look forward to, isn't it? Brentford Cup, chance to really try and get back to Wembley, get that off our back, the old trophy drought.
Yeah.
So it's a big moment that now a season. That was obviously a real kickstart at what has been a great week for the Mags last week. And then this week we head to Forest, which we will touch on in just a couple of minutes. One bit of transfer news in this evening's podcast is that Newcastle United are scouting Jonathan David, as we've talked about previously in the podcast.
Recurring name.
But there was a scout from Newcastle at the game in France there last weekend, which he scored in a 1-1 draw in Ligue 1. So a few reports have now came out confirming Newcastle scouts in France watching the Canadian forward, Jonathan David, who very versatile, can play across the full front line, striker, right wing, left wing, you name it, even as a 10 before. Really good goal scoring record for his country and club, and he is out of contract next summer.
What we're like.
Next summer he's out of contract.
Lovely.
He's told him he's not signing a new one. Lille are looking to cash in January, so it could be a nice cut price move for the Mags. And this is a signing that just makes too much sense that it won't happen.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I really hope it does. And I hope I'm wrong, but it's one of them ones where you point it out, everything I've just said, why on earth would you not sign him? And then it just won't happen.
Also, I think they might want to try and be a little bit, I was going to say smarter about it, but maybe cheaper about it. Maybe try and get like a pre-contract agreement in the summer.
That'd be fine.
If that's going to happen, then Lille are probably going to want to cash in for whatever they can, really. Like out's better than out, really, isn't it? So, but yeah, I think if we could try and negotiate a freebie in the summer, that's fine because hopefully Wilson will be back within the next decade.
Telling people he's going to be fifth for West Ham, who bumped into him the other day. So,
and Asula's still a developmental project, but. I think David is a good striker. I'm a fan. We were talking about him in the summer, but quite a nice price. So I don't know what a realistic price would be, and also taking into consideration like 6 months left on his contract.
I don't know.
What we're going to get him.
I mean, at his age, he's only 24, something. Isn't he?
Still quite young.
And with his goal scoring record,
obviously more proven than Asula.
He'd go for easy, probably 50 million, I reckon.
Yeah.
So with maybe
I think
20?
we'd have to sell Wilson. Like, I don't think we would carry 4 forwards.
Wilson's got to run down.
Go with
Swapsies, Wilson going to have a nice little
yeah, but also that's what I'm saying. Like, no one would buy Wilson this January because he's not proven enough. So I think it would make more sense just to let Wilson go for free in the summer and bring David in on a free, just free swapsies. Then yeah, I think that makes a little bit more sense. But if we want to try and beat competition, because other teams will probably be trying to offer a fee,
loads of teams
is a freebie, right? It'll be very highly in demand. So I suppose to get the upper hand, then yeah, I suppose go for whatever you think's an agreeable fee. Right?
I reckon 20 million would be nice.
Yeah, could be.
There's 6 months left.
It's only about 30-40 million rated anyway.
Yeah.
Which I think is a little bit cheap. I think it's better than 30.
I think it's 50. I mean, look at bloody Eddie and Nketiah went to Palace for 50 million. He had 17 games and 8 goals. And you mentioned Asula was 10-15 million.
Yeah, I think 20 million would be a really good
deal. I think it would be a great deal. Yeah. In the chat here, people in favour of him, I'd take him. Lee's calling for Mbeumo, absolutely. Mbeumo, I want both. I want Mbeumo and David.
That like British team tax would be a lot
through the roof.
I mean, he's good, and I think he's worth it, whatever he's rated at. But I think especially for how good he is and how important he is to Brentford, they would absolutely take the piss and want like 70 million. I ain't paid 70 million for him, no chance. I'd rather take Jonathan David for 20.
I want both because right wing just let him boom play there. David, we need a second. We need 2 strikers.
Yeah,
Wilson's just finished, isn't he? So Jonathan made a good point before. We did have 2 big strikers, Amiobi and Carroll, in the 5-1 win against Sunderland.
True.
I like it.
How tall's Amiobi though? He's not massive. He's not like a Crouch of Carroll.
No, he's not a giant.
He's beefy and all. He was stocky, wasn't he?
Beefy. So, yeah. Mitchell likes David. Mitchell will have targets as well of his own, I'm sure. But Mitchell does like David. Aaron likes the signing of Jonathan David. Ian says, give them Miggy, sweeten the deal.
Could do that.
Pretty lovely. Miggy and Franz, probably all right. Farmers League. Wilson will go in January. That's why he's on holiday in Qatar. Yeah, getting some treatment over there in Qatar, apparently.
And if the car team wants
a big deal in the sunset. Listen, you didn't play anyway. Just take the money and run, man. I wish I went back to Saudi.
Offer a couple of million in January, no worries.
No worries. Mbeumo quarter price is 50 million. That's a bargain for me. Not a bargain. I would say that's fair.
I would say that's market price.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
Yeah, Brentford aren't selling.
Mbeumo's only 24, 25 now.
Yeah,
he looks like 35 because he's baldy, but
yeah, they ain't selling him for 50 unless he's. I don't know how many years he's got left on his contract. Well. I don't know what he's got left on his contract. But yeah, market value is about 50 million. They ain't selling 50 million unless he demands to be out. He's got not long left on his contract. He puts in a transfer request. You might get lucky to nab him for 50, but they ain't selling him for 50.
Not after he's started this season banging the goals.
That's I think
they'd 170.
I think they'd hold ransom on 70.
Easy. Okay, let's move on to some kit news. We obviously know Newcastle United are going to be an elite club by Adidas next year. We've been elite enough this year, but next year, change the mind. So we'll have the trefoil logo on the 3rd kit, which we missed out on this year, where we'll have the retro badge. Would look perfect with that old school retro Adidas logo. But we're winter elite this year. We are. Well, from next season, shall I say, which also includes long sleeve shirts. That has now apparently been confirmed to a couple of reports online that we will have long sleeve shirts
sexy
next year, the home ones, which should do. Listen, the other Adidas teams have got one. By the way, when I was on holiday last week, found this unreal football shop, which I was dragging the missus around, and I seen Juventus's 3rd kit this year. God, that is unreal. It's got the Adidas retro logo. It's got the Juventus logo, not the crappy JJ that they've got now, but the old one. Stallion logo. Oh my God!
Yes, I know what you mean.
Gold, dark blue. It's got like the pattern built into the background. It was long sleeves. Got 2 buttons. Honestly, it was €190 or something. I was like, I'm not doing it, but I'll get it off a certain Chinese website. But it's absolutely unreal. And Newcastle will have that privilege next year. Fan of that then?
Oh yeah. Especially after what you just said about that, if I'm kind of a kit's a kit, really. I'm not that buzzing about it, but I did like all the other elite clubs' logos, with them having the old school Adidas logo, a bit of a different badge, which we've already got this year with the old 80s badge, but yeah, with other features like long sleeve, any finer detail pattern and stuff, like something you'd have to like be up close to. Like you couldn't really just see it on the internet and be like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like when you see it in the club shop,
Totally
you see all the like the little specific details and stuff, then yeah. Oh no, yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing for it. But also depending on the price, like, because if it's like pricey.
Well, it will be at least an extra £5 because of the material.
Man, Jack, like.
So
Hold up.
it's obviously, what was it, 80 quid this year? So with the long sleeve, you're probably looking at 85, 90 quid. Easy is what you will be looking at for the long sleeve.
All right, so it's going to be modelled on that one, is it?
Edition. But what I've brought up here, Keg, is the away one.
Yeah.
So obviously you'll be able to get your home kits and long sleeve and stuff, but it has been rumoured. Now, I don't know anything about this. This is just off an account. I think it was Retro and UFC or something on Twitter. So credit to them.
I'm looking at that now and I'm just thinking that looks absolutely mad. Like, why did they do that? So the shit that we're referencing, if you don't remember, it was like navy with green and yellow, green and orange stripes down one side with the Brown Ale logo like off to the side, like
the Brown Ale logo looks
the stripes.
mad there, you know.
I've never really taken into consideration how mad and stupid that looks.
It's so 90s though, isn't it?
It really is. It's mental. Got a bit of an orange collar, the orange stripes on the sleeve, the Adidas 3 stripes. It's a sexy shape, but I'm just looking at it, just thinking like it's just so weird and random.
So this is apparently what the new away kit next season will be based on. So Adidas yet again going for a retro remake, and it is crazy, that kit, like, isn't it?
It just like
bizarre.
Just with the Brown Ale, just off to one side. I've never like in how many years old is that shit now? A good 25 odd years, nearly 30 years old. I'm just looking at it now and just thinking like that's just fucking bizarre. Like, why did they do that?
I said, keep that toss, mad designs. Like, they've clearly been full of like weed doing that. You know what I mean? Full of hallucinogenics, just like absolutely off the tits designing these kits. But loads of people love them. We've got a great reaction online for this remake to be done. I don't know about you, Keg, but I must be in the minority where I just think that kit is absolutely lifting. I really don't like it.
I'm thinking it now. Like I never did. I just thought it was always like a classic like 90s away shirt. But until you just brought it up there and I seen the Brown Ale off to one side, I was thinking it is lifting. It's horrible.
Do you actually genuinely think it's lifting? Because I was the only one yesterday. I'm looking on social media and absolutely everyone's buzzing, loving it. It's a great design.
I've never thought of it until just now, until I was looking at it there. And I don't know why it's taken us nearly 13 years to realise that shit is absolutely disgusting.
I really don't like it, but everyone seems to love it.
What would we do though? Because we've still got like Salah, and like, I don't think that would. I think if they kept it normally, it would be all right.
Yeah, they can't really
do what they've done there.
They can't go for a full remake like they've done with this year's away kit, can they?
They wouldn't have that off to a side.
The maroon and blue. They'd have to
keep it centrally like it is.
They'd have to make this
unless they've done like the Ajax shirt where they had it like vertical.
Yeah, you could do that. That would probably look better, to be honest.
I think I'd be lifting, to be honest.
Oh, it should be awful. I think they've got to. I think it'll be more based on the colours and the design.
Yeah, incorporate the design, but not do the stupid fucking logo off to one side thing.
Maybe not even just have the two stripes. It may just be like something different. I
think
a couple of remakes and rebrands of like it being a cross. From Concept Kits, who's on Twitter as well. Check them out. Different little touches that they could modernise it and change it. And I think that's what they've got to do. Because to be honest with you, and again, let us know in the live chat here and let us know in the comments when you watch this back. For me, I'm kind of turning away from this whole let's remake every kit we used to have.
No, I'm the same. Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. Yeah. Like originality is great, and like look, I do love it. Like the retro stuff, like going back to the good days, like even taking football aside, just the 90s for me was just a special time growing up.
Oh, the best.
But so yeah, like I'll do love the retro stuff, but kind of keep the past in the past. Like create new memories. Like they weren't designed off other stuff. Like they weren't designed from fucking 70s kits. Exactly. So yeah, like bring the new school. Like we're in a new era now. We've got new owners and stuff. Like we're in a new era. Create memories for when we're 50. Like 20, 30, 40 years down the line. Let's look back on these days and be like, oh, remember that kit from 2025? It was fucking lush.
Exactly. That's what I'm on as well. That's what I'm on. We need new creative designs and new ones for this team for them to create their own memories in it. Yeah. So you can look back in it and it does have a trademark because if you're looking back in 20 years' time, you're going to be like, oh, that kit, but it wasn't. It was based on the other kit.
Yeah.
Oh, that was actually, son, that was a remake of that kit.
Yeah. Teaching our kids about all these kids.
Kits. Bring out your own designs.
All these kids now, like 12-year-olds these days, be like, oh, Dad, look at that new kit. I'm like, oh, I remember back in my day, son, back in 1998.
You know what? Just like movies, you'll never beat the original. So it's a waste of bastard time. Because
Absolutely.
you'll come back to it, and like you've just said there, if some kid's going, oh, I like that funky kit there with the green and orange stripe down it, you'll be like, the dad will be sitting there going, right, not the same as the 97 one.
I had that shirt back in the day.
It's in the loft. Much better, that one. Get it out.
Yeah.
So, no.
New memories, please.
New memories, new kits, new designs.
I like
are these getting paid for? Anyone can just go,
it's a little unoriginal, just redesigning a kit. I like the sentiment, but I'm not like once in a while it's fine.
Once in a while.
Every few years, bring back a retro kit, remake it, blush.
Totally made sense doing it this year.
Not every year, yeah.
Return of Adidas, doing the maroon and blue.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Totally made sense. Fine with that. Every year we're just kind of going,
even if
what was the kid from 27 years ago? Let's do that again.
Yeah, even if next year's just the third kind of retro, what was it, the Elite Club thing, fair enough. But if either the home or away kit's modelled off another shirt, I'm going to lose me fucking lid, mate.
I'm just going to go, can I have the Adidas designer's job? this bloke will be getting paid $3 million a year or something.
Yeah. Because all three of our kits this year are designed off like older kits.
Yeah. I know.
What's the third one look like again?
The early 2000s away one, white and green. So Bobby Robson days.
Yes,
brown
that's it. Yeah.
And obviously the same as the home one.
So like you say, like this is the first year of Adidas. Fine, we've remodeled 3 different kits. Okay, fair enough. Next year we're going to do the retro one, the Elite one, modeled off another 90s kit. Fine, but we can't just do this every single year.
No, we can't.
We're going to run out of kits.
And we should just start again.
Well, I haven't got that many good ones, to be fair.
I know. Then you're just going to start again, aren't you?
We're going to have that bloody 2004 yellow piece of shit.
That's what you get in the comments, though. That's what I seen last night.
No.
People arguing which kit should be remade.
No.
People were like,
stop it.
People were like,
stop it.
Nah, I don't like that one, so we should make and people are saying it, yeah, I want the denim blue one back. I want the denim blue one back.
I don't think that would go now.
And people are saying, like last night, were like, I'll bring the yellow custard cream one back.
Nah, no.
All these things, you know what I mean?
Delete them. Get the move. Nah, I don't think denim.
You're feeling the denim material on this.
Tell you what, I love that kit, but
that is
you
a fair
couldn't redo that. Like you'd have to remodel it to the way that it maybe looked denim, but you couldn't have a denim shirt in these days.
That one, I'd be more in favour of maybe doing that one just because it was unique. So I'd be interested to see
very unique
what kind of material or design they'd bring.
Yeah, like I say, it'd have to be remodeled to shit.
Oh, aye. Yeah, you couldn't have a big thick Levi's t-shirt going on.
Get me a fucking Wrangler shirt, dude.
Let us know what you think in the comments as we move on and wrap up this podcast. We will look towards this Super Sunday clash, 2 p.m. on Sky at the City Ground. Newcastle head to Forest, where they have already won there this season, obviously in the Carabao Cup early on. We've won there already, and we do go there yet again. However, this time, Nottingham Forest are in fire form. They are on it big time. They are still top 4, and they were third before Sunday's game.
They got dropped down. I don't think I saw third.
Because Forest are in 5th, aren't they?
How did that happen?
So I can't remember. I think they've got Chelsea this weekend. So if we beat Forest, they get beat off Chelsea. We go above Arsenal. Get in there, crying teta. So yeah. Forest on the weekend for us, though. Let's not laugh too soon because they are having a quite ridiculous start of the season. Nuno Espirito Santo getting the best out of Chris Woodnaldo. I mean, this bloke, what the hell is going on? Because I was there. I've seen it with my own eyes. How bad Chris Wood was for Newcastle. 28 games to make 1 goal.
Awful. More than that. He didn't have the ball. Nah.
Oh, he did? I'll fucking tell you right now.
He fucking didn't.
I did enough runs on Chris Wood. His goal
maybe it's about 3.
Chris Wood's goal scoring record. Unless that was at St. James's Park.
Point or something. Yeah, he didn't score 1 goal at all. He scored a couple in the cup, I think.
He's counting bloody Boreham away. This season, he's got 10 matches and 8 goals, which is fucking absurd. And we'll go on to his record at Newcastle. But this will probably include pre-season stuff. You can let us know in the chat if you can say it. 4 goals for Newcastle in 35 games.
Like, right, okay.
2 of them with the Cellar Cup.
That isn't a great look, and I get the goal scoring thing, but holding the ball up, I call absolute bullshit on that. And for me, like, he came in to be a backup striker, but
what's 25 million quid, man? He stunk the place out.
But what happened? Oh, Callum Wilson got injured, didn't he? So you had to pretty much see out the rest of the season as our main only striker. But we rose from that. That was the season where they had the takeover. Eddie Howe came in. We were 19th in the league without a win. And we went up to like 4th, was it like 11th in the league? I think we finished at that point. And we were on a run. Like we went from 19th to 11th quite quickly. We're done very, very well. And it was all kind of him holding the ball up. I remember being at one game. I can't even remember which one it was. It might be in Arsenal, to be fair. I think Fraser might have ended up scoring. Like Wood held the ball up, played it down the right-hand channel for Murphy. Murphy shot, hit the post, bounced in. Fraser finished it. Like he'd done a lot. He'd done a lot of underrated stuff. He did hold the ball up very, very well because he's a big physical target, like Andy Carroll. Like he drew a lot of attention. So when he was drawing attention, that was freeing up the wingers. Like I felt he'd done a very.
He was all right around him actually.
Yeah, he'd done a very underrated job. And like a striker's judged on goals. He didn't score very many goals. I remember one game in the cup. It must have been the season before last. It was late on. I can't remember even who it was. Maybe even being Forrest. I can't remember. But he blazed one over the bar from quite close range. I think it's through 1-on-1. It was late on. I think we were losing 1-0 or it was 1-1 or something. And he blazed it over the bar. And I think that was curtain closed for him. It was like that.
Wednesday, man.
That was
a curtain call for me.
Yeah,
the rant's still on YouTube.
I think he'd done what he needed to do for the team. Like I say, he wasn't sexy or pretty in the absolute slightest, but I feel like everything that he'd done, and his stats aren't going to show it, but I think for the eye test, he'd done enough for me to think, you know how it is, the team's playing well around you, and I think you're the focal point of making everyone play well around you. You're not scoring goals, which you're a striker, you're meant to do, but everyone else is kind of doing a good job. So and especially going into last season where it was sold him, getting into a fucking Champions League, yeah. Well, first one in 20 years, and you go in with Isak and Wilson. Isak has his injury problems. Wilson can't stay fit for fucking nout, and you sell your third choice striker. Why did we do that?
Mental.
Even like looking at it now, like, would you rather have Chris Wood or Billy Osula?
Oh, well, exactly. You would. I got asked this the other day.
Shouldn't have sold him last year.
I got asked this the other day in the other video. Do you regret selling Chris Wood? I said no, I don't. I regret not replacing him.
That's it.
I regret not replacing him.
And for the transfer fee, I'm on a fucking Chris Wood tangent now. You've got me fucking riled up here.
I'm fired up.
He had a release clause of 25 million. It's not really like we wanted to spend 25 million on him. But
and he did his job, to be fair.
We bought him to stay up against a relegation rival, which I think was key. They went down.
Genius.
We didn't. Genius. Then we sold them for 15 million a year later. So basically, we spent 10 million pounds to survive.
Bargain.
Money well spent.
Absolutely.
Case closed. Next conversation.
He's gonna be cheering Chris Wood on the weekend. That sounds it. I knew I had the 1 goal thing from somewhere. It was 1 goal at St James Park for Newcastle. 1 goal in 20 games.
Yeah, it's like, his stats don't look great. He gets judged off scoring goals as a striker.
He scored more. Yeah. He scored 3 away from him.
He did.
But the awful thing about all of this isn't those stats. Well, it is, but it was that he scored 1 goal in 20 games for Newcastle. He scored 3 goals for Nottingham Forest at St James's Park. For Nottingham Forest on Boxing Day. He scored a hat-trick in 1 game. 3 goals in 1 game for Nottingham Forest at St James's Park, but 1 goal in 20 games in Newcastle at St James's Park. Yeah. But still, some players suit certain clothes, though. Listen, fair play, Chris Wood. He suited Burnley. He was good there. He's shooting Forest, shooting the style of play. Santos getting a tone out of him. He's doing very well. And to be fair, Forest have got some good strike. Iwanyi was on fire, and he can't even get on the pitch nowadays. Iwanyi was really good.
I forgot about him.
Exactly. Taiwo
he was good last year.
He was banging them in, and then Chris Wood just keeping out the side.
Yeah.
And obviously, we all know the player that's doing very well at Forest. That the locals there down Nottingham are raving about, and he's been winning. He's been winning Player of the Month awards and whatnot. Is the Geordie Maradona, Elliot Anderson, who will be looking to shine once more at the City Ground at the weekend. What do you reckon then, Keg? What's the odds on either one of them scoring, both of them scoring on Newcastle? Keeping up this good run. Let's finish on a positive. Keeping up the good run.
I mean, what's the odds on a Anderson assist and or Wood goal?
Oh, I won't even. 3-1 or something. Listen, nothing. Because I seen it. It was Friday Night Football. Could we score? He did it. Wood swiveled, smashed the top corner. So
it is. It's going to be a tough game. Yes, we've got a little bit of momentum off of our 2 wins, but they've got momentum now.
Have huge ones.
Yeah, so I've got. I think again, I always favour where it's in James's Park. If we were at home, I'd be a little optimistic. Going down there with the form they're on, I've got no idea. I don't know.
Take a draw.
I'll take. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
It's not really like I want to draw, but.
Wouldn't be the worst result.
See how the game goes. Come 80 odd minutes, depending on what the score is. If we're kind of up against it or grinding it out a little bit, a draw might not be a bad result. Right now it's really hard to call. I don't know.
I think with their form, obviously City ground, good atmosphere. They beat Liverpool away. They beat Liverpool out earlier in the season, and they've kicked on from there. The form of certain players like Wood, like Anderson. Ian's mentioned Matt Sells in goal. He was terrible for us in a Rafa. And look at him now. God almighty. But with the week we've had, the big win against Arsenal, yes, we want to kick on, want to show we can get a consistency going. I think that consistency would still be classed as not losing, to be honest.
Yeah.
So a draw wouldn't be a bad result.
Yeah.
I'd
take a draw, but I think we could win. If you offered us it now, it's one of them like deal or no deal type situations.
Ooh.
You could accept what's in your box, but
swap for your favourite number over there.
You could get better. I don't know.
You're gonna swap it.
I wouldn't take a draw. If I had that in my box right now, if I had a draw, I'd be inclined to take it. But I'd think, I'm
gonna risk it.
What's in that box?
I'm gonna be greedy. I'm gonna risk it. I'm not taking the draw. I'm going to risk it. I'm going for that. 3 points. 3 points over there in box number 16. I think we actually will edge it, and I think we will nick it. I think we might. Listen, it might work out in our favour the way Forest play. They're not going to have a low block or anything other. They're going to go for it as well. So there will be gaps there. I'm interested to see how Alanga does. Obviously, we'll try to sign him on Delende. Try to sign him on Delende. They turned down big money for him from us. So Forest have a lot of dangerous players.
Yeah,
they're on a massive high right now, riding a real positive wave of results where they're in the Champions League places. And they've won the European Cup before, so fair play to them.
Twice,
Twice, 2 stars on the chest, like they're playing the World Cup. So I'm going to say we will still edge it, and I'm going to say it's going to be a bit of brilliance from the man that's in form for us. Isaac, 3-3 from him. It's going to be 4-4, maybe 5-4. He may score 2. 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. Tell you what, I'd love it. Any 3 points? I'd
love it.
Whatever the score is, I would love it. 3 points.
Love it.
That's a win's going to be my optimistic prediction. Realistic. I think we can draw it. I don't fancy Wood to get beat. But yeah, I think a draw's fine. You take it. But again, it's to do with the performance. It depends how the game goes. If we're up against it late on, you take a point away. But yeah, it's just one of them have to wait and see for me. It's hard to really predict right now.
No, it is. A couple of optimistic 3-1s in the chat there from Stephen, Ian, Aaron, all saying 3-1 there from the regular viewers. Jack makes a good point that we do have a very decent record at the City ground in recent times, which we do. I remember some big wins lately.
Was it a penalty, Isaac?
Yeah.
Penalty up against
there as well. Anderson scored a great goal and it was disallowed.
Isaac's cross.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. I forgot about that because that was Anderson. He never scored for the club, did he? No. That was the first goal until VR interview.
In fact, he scored this weekend, didn't he?
Raging.
Even more there. Jopadoni and Jack saying, Jackie both saying 3-1. Everyone says 3-1. That's the only score I've got from everyone.
3-1.
So hope you're all right. Yeah. Hope you're all right. Forest or third. The grounds are going to be rocking this weekend.
They're still third, are they? I thought they got dropped down.
Finish off on the off. Paul's going with some different 4-0. Lee is also going with a 2-1. And Lee has a question that we can finish off on. Oh, nice. As we answer this question, you just can feel free to ask 1 or 2 more where we're saying off. So a question here from Lee Smith. I'll let you have it, Keg. Do you think Isaac will leave in the summer?
Nope.
There you go. No. Next question.
No, I think it depends on where we're finishing the league and the demand. It depends who wants him. I think financially...
Also want him apparently going to the FTV. Yeah, so, yeah.
I think financially, unless a team with mad money who's willing to absolutely spunk a load on a striker might come up to it, but I think our demand's going to overshoot it. He's still in contract. He's one of our key players. So yeah, a team needs to spend mad money to take him off of our hands because we're not going to let him go cheap.
No.
Going back to what we were saying about Mbumo before, unless he puts in a transfer request maybe, or he wants out and it's kind of upsetting the dressing room. You think maybe it's better just to cash out on him and just get him to fuck off. Then, but I cannot say that. But it depends on where we finish. I think if we get Europe, it's going to be fine. If we don't, then I'd understand his frustration and maybe he's wanting to move on. But yeah.
Steven said there also can't afford 150 million unless Ty does a GoFundMe. He probably would, to be fair. Probably
all
the fans all over the world be all over that.
I've seen a quote before, to be fair. Sorry to keep prolonging this podcast, but Arsenal paid, I think it was like 105 million on a bang average midfielder.
105?
It was about 105, about 100 million.
What, right?
Declan Rice. Do you think it's bang average? Do you think it's worth 100 million?
100 million's a lot, but he's definitely not bang average. I think he's class.
He
missed a big chance at the end. He didn't have
a bit of an overstatement. Like, I like Declan Rice. I don't think he's 100 million.
No, it's English tax, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think Kai was 115.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's got a good goal at the weekend, but no.
Yeah, he actually has been playing well lately, but yeah, 115, 105.
Yeah,
no. I mean, realistically, Declan Rice is probably like a 65, 70 million player, isn't he?
About 70 million probably.
Yeah, but like 100 million.
Yeah, I don't think he's bang average. Like, but
he's brilliant, man. He's one of the best.
But if Declan Rice can go for 100 million, what are you going to get for Isaac?
Oh, that's what I was trying to say. So when he was like, "Oh well, we'll get him in the summer. We'll come from in January," and I said, "I got 200 million." Then he was like, "Nah, 200 million." Obviously, that may be a bit of a stretch.
Do you think they're going to offer 75? And that's going to be it.
We paid 64.
Yeah,
that's what they genuinely think. Like 70, 80
You're
million.
not going to get him for 75 million.
You're not going to get him for 70, 80, 90 million.
You're talking
that's like
minimum 100 million. Like I say, if you get Declan Rice for 100 million, you are not getting a premium goal scorer for 100 million.
It blows my mind, man. Honestly, you think you can get someone for 80, 70, 80, 90 million that's been in the Premier League for years, scoring shitloads of goals, played in the Champions League now, plays for Sweden, bangs them in for his country, and he's still very young, and you think you're just going to, honestly, man. Honestly, what the hell?
Wake up, man, will you?
Wake up, man, will you? Smell the prime. Did I have another question there? Danny JC3, where will Gordon start, right or left? Well, it has to be right now, really, to accommodate Juliet on the left, and because there's no one else on the right.
Keep it going, yeah.
The right options aren't great, Murphy and Almiron. Yeah. When you've got all these players on the left.
Fucking queuing up on the left.
They're queuing up on the left.
Too many.
Yeah, we've got way too many, way too many. Okay, deluded bunch them Arsenal fans. 100 million for Rice. I hope we got 3 prawn crackers. That's a good one, George. Don't you like it?
Rice corner.
I like it. Key to keeping Isaac and our top players is a good January transfer window. Says Aaron, well, that's true. Listen, we've got to get a good backing in January. Make sure we have a good cup run again. Hopefully win it, and then most importantly as well for these players. Yeah, need to get European football. Lee, I watched that AFT video in my you were class, putting your point across, taking no shit off them, especially that bloke off the camera. Bottle of tears made me crease. Well done, mate. Cheers, that one, Lee. Bottle of tears was nice. Shout out Rivals Tears. And giving it to Lee Judges and Julian from AFTV in the background. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said before, I've waited many years to stick it to them. So I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed myself tonight as well. Thanks to Anarchy Brewery for hosting us. Yep. Thanks to Keg for coming along.
Anyways, anytime.
Anytime. Well, Tuesday's the time. Next
time.
Tuesday, we're going to actually be here next Tuesday. I think so.
We'll see.
Hope so, yeah. We're meant to be. We will be. Tuesday, we're going to keep the streak going now. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. for the Magpie Channel podcast, available on all audio platforms. Remember, scan the QR code to get yourselves some war beer and support war flags in the process. And most importantly, enjoy yourself.